Hey everybody, and welcome back to the Rotten Brains channel. It's been a very long time since we've done one of these. Yeah, thanks,
But it's
pandemic.
time for an AV Club.
And, of course, you and I go for the one thing we've been waiting for a while now.
PREY.
Title drop. Make that happen.
Make that happen,
Exversity.
Kenny.
Exversity, drop in that title. Oh, that's so good. That gives me chills.
That was
okay,
awesome, yeah.
so two things going off this bat. One, we are going to talk spoilers. We will let you guys know ahead of time.
Yep.
Two, the footage in the background is going to be a mix of some of the footage from the early part of the movie. Only furthest we go in is about an hour.
Yeah, about
None of
more
that
than
is
halfway.
yeah. None of that is beyond that point.
Yeah.
Second part, the rest of it's going to be all the trailer. But we also only watched the movie in Comanche.
We watched the Comanche dub.
One, because you and I love Native American
and
culture.
language and- yes.
So it felt wrong to watch this movie in English.
Yes.
When the minute you and I heard from Bloody Disgusting, I think it was the article we
I
read.
believe so, yeah.
That said the movie will be available in Comanche dub. You and I were
Hell
hyped.
yeah.
And the third thing going into this is, and I'm gonna give my TLDR moment right here, the best fucking Predator movie I have seen
Since the original.
And
I fully endorse that. I think that too.
honestly, there's parts of this that I still prefer over the original.
Oh yeah. Because
Oh my god.
yeah, without getting
No spoilers
Yes,
yet. We'll talk about spoilers after. But what is your overall view on this?
I think it was a fantastic action horror movie in general. And I loved how it took the Predators into a new realm, a new world, a new fucking brutal world. And it was everything I could want from the concept. It was totally devoted to its original concept, the Native American versus Predator in historical times. 1719 was the year it's set.
Yeah.
And just everything that I wanted to see from that premise.
I went into this already pretty hyped.
Yeah, I
because
was already into this.
I loved the idea of a low-tech Predator fighting low-tech people.
Yes.
And the stuff we noticed at the very beginning of the film, this isn't spoilers, this is like the first 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Dog breeds.
Yes.
You and I were talking immediately.
Yes.
2 dogs are noted in the film. One's only there for a split second.
And the other one's the protagonist dog, which plays a big part in the story.
Sari.
Yeah.
And that dog, I don't know if it's a she or a he.
Yeah,
I
whatever,
think it's a male, but I might be wrong.
Yeah, I don't think they really said.
That dog, man, I'm not gonna say anything, but we went in with the oh shit, they're gonna kill this dog.
dog ended up being a tad of a dog.
To innately give you that sympathy thing, which you and I, we don't hate it, but
that's something they do.
they do it so often that it becomes a trope that I just hate. And it's not even that I just they killed the dog, bad person, I hate you. That's not why I hate it. I hate it because it's used so often to make a bad guy bad.
It's just like a cheap thing. It's people hate when they see dogs die, so it's automatically setting you. Yeah, it's just a cheap thing. Yeah.
I mean, it's a cheap thing. But I will
definitely
state this right out. It's not that big of a spoiler, but the dog doesn't ever die, but there are cases where you're like, oh my god, the dog's gonna die, the dog's gonna die, the dog's gonna die.
There were multiple parts where I thought, this is where the dog's gonna die.
And it's so cool. Let's talk about the main
the dog breed thing. We wanted to notice that we didn't actually get to that part. We were just that the dog breed is like a Native American dog breed.
Yes.
Because it wasn't just like a generic European dog, because that would have been inaccurate, because they had their own set of
breeds
of
yeah,
dogs.
we were talking about that.
I believe I actually watched documentaries. Most Native American dog breeds are extinct or bred into European dogs. One that you can't. I don't know what kind of breed that was. That'd be an interesting thing to look into. What kind of breed
that would
actually
be really good. Maybe it is an accurate Comanche dog, but I know that for the time, that breed of dog was depicted in Native American art. And
it wasn't but I mean, it wasn't like a German Shepherd.
No,
that would have been wrong.
I was very happy with that choice. Moving on from that, let's talk about the clothing real quick, because that was
cool.
The clothing, and you know what's just as important as the clothing? The face paint.
Yeah, that was cool.
Not just face paint, body paint too, but there wasn't a lot that had body paint. Only a few characters did.
I love the brother at the beginning. He had the half covered. Yeah, that was cool.
I also there is a line in this film that you and I were just like, they missed out on an opportunity to make it the tagline of the film.
Oh yeah. Your trial isn't just to hunt; it's to survive, or something like that. Yeah.
Your trial is not just to hunt; it is to survive. That should have been the damn tagline for this movie.
That's a cool line.
That is an accurate depiction of this entire film.
And it's so like a cool like action movie like punchline, tagline kind of thing.
Let's talk about the main actress real quick. What was her name again?
Amber Mid-Thunder.
Mid-Thunder. Oh my.
Such a cool name too.
That's such a fucking Chad ass fucking Native American name.
I know.
The only other closer name you could get is like fucking
Lone Eagle or some shit like that.
Thunder Bear or something like
know.
that. You know, which is the name Torbjorn, by the way.
Yeah, I know.
But
I thought of the same thing.
Any which way, she
was really good.
Again, we watched the Comanche version. We watched just the scene where she talks to her mother in English. It was okay. I liked it. I liked it, but I preferred the Comanche.
Yeah.
And it's not me being a picky asshole about it. I don't want people to.
There's
think
something
that.
Immersive about that.
Yeah, there was something very immersive about hearing the Comanche voices, hearing the Comanche language.
And I love like the immersion history. Even I'm not gonna say it's a historic because there's a fucking predator in it, but no, they do that. It's kind of like I compare it to The Witch in a way.
Yeah, The Witch.
There's like it's not a historical event being recounted, but it really immerses you in a culture and a time and a place.
And one of the features there are one of the best features of that example is later in the film some French trappers are introduced. They all speak French. We don't know what they're saying. Even the subtitles are in French.
Yeah, I love that.
That is so cool because we're only there with the Comanche. Yeah. We don't know what they're saying because she doesn't know what they're saying.
If they were American, like English trappers, which would have been historically inaccurate for English to be that far west at the time. But
now, here comes my thing. She is an awesome character. Naru.
Yeah.
Naru.
I don't know if I'm even saying that
I think you have to roll it before the U.
Yeah.
Naru.
Because we watched it in Comanche, we didn't actually hear. We couldn't actually fully parse all the language.
Yeah, because it was in the Comanche. But regardless, she's such a badass.
She was awesome.
I'm now ranking her on top with like Ellen Ripley and fucking Sarah Connor.
I love how like you see her as a hunter at the beginning. You see her character. But what I really like too is that, without getting into the spoilers, like you see how she observes the predator. She figures things out. She observes just like a hunter does. He tracks her prey. Just like, and I love how many things they did to align her with the predator. They're the same.
In the predator with the just not just her but the Comanche people as a whole. Like the predator isn't hunting those just weaker than it. It is hunting things that actively try to attack it. And the Comanches made it point, like her brother made it a point. Are you willing to hunt something that's hunting you? He says that really early in the film. We actually have a clip of it. So hopefully Exversity his new name is Exversity.
The artist formerly known as Minor.
The artist formerly, the editor formerly known as Minor. He says to her, he flat out says like, are you willing to hunt something that is hunting you?
That was cool.
And the camera like slowly zooms into her face and her eyes of like determination of knowing what she's
There's a lot of good cinematography in this movie.
Bro, let's talk about the cinematography before we get to the actor of the Predator and her brother.
Yeah.
Because I think that it's fair to talk about those three more than anyone else. Everyone else did a great job.
No, there weren't any bad
I think they are that and the leader of the Trapper just for a little bit at the end.
Yeah.
Of this category. Cinematography. We're breaking out of the character thing real quick because we need to talk about cinematography. Exversity, please play that favorite clip. It's probably labeled as such, my favorite clip. Kurosawa as fuck.
The wolf fight, right?
The wolf fight.
Oh, yeah, because the whole setup, like the background is static. It's just the nature and the wood in the background. And the way it was filmed flat, the over-the-shoulder shot of the predator, where he's like in like the building, is almost like a bow, like you pointed out.
Yeah, he almost like a bow in a Kawasora, film. A Kurosawa film where the samurai bow before reaching for their blades and pulling it out. And it almost seems like the predator does that. Like he takes this really deep, like bow to the ground,
Yeah.
where he's almost approaching the level of the wolf.
Yeah.
And then the wolf, like, when it attacks...
It's like growling, and it's like...
attacks his leg, you can see inside the wolf's mouth the neon green blood.
That was awesome.
And then they do this cinematic thing where they charge at each other, and then they cut slash.
Yes.
And the wolf turns around ready to fight again, and then the guts just fall out of that wolf.
That was not even just... That was almost very... That was almost like an anime fight, almost. Like, you
but
could
that's...
see that.
Kurosawa was the one who did that on
Japanese,
film.
Yeah.
Kurosawa's whole... Like, that is in the Cub...
Like,
what is Wolf and Cub
That's
movies.
not him, though. That wasn't Kurosawa.
Oh, that's not Kurosawa?
No.
Why did I think Kurosawa did Wolf and Cub?
Because it's in his wheelhouse.
Oh, that's wrong. Kurosawa was the one who did that, though, right? Like, Kurosawa was the one who kind of brought that to film, I thought. Like, that's why he's credited with that, right?
I don't know, but I'm pretty sure that wasn't a Kurosawa film.
No. But I mean, like, Kurosawa was the one who...
that visual style trope,
that slash, and then both warriors are standing there, and then one of them falls and collapses.
Yeah.
That is Kurosawa.
And you see that in a lot of Japanese movies from his influence.
But that is, But that, without a doubt, that is the most Kurosawa reference I've ever seen, especially with all the misty mountains in the background of the field. And, there's
a lot of good nature shots, and like that was important to the film.
You know, I'm going to have I'm gonna get that footage after, but I want to have that footage that you and I were talking about. Like, if this was a graphic novel, that would be the cover art, like just split in the middle.
Yes, the big splash page.
Big splash page of her and the cougar.
Yes, that was a great sequence. Oh,
that is such a cool look.
Like, on the tree, she's on one side, and the cougar's on the other side, and the tree is, like...
in the middle, it was all silhouetted.
Yes, that was awesome.
Oh, it's so good, that light blue reflecting from the moon.
If she was a ninja instead of an Native American, that would be a Frank Miller panel. Fucking tell me it wouldn't be.
If she was Elektra.
Yeah, if she was Elektra instead, or like just a ninja in general, like an Asian fighter, like a Batman, whatever. That would be that would totally be like a Frank Miller composition right there. Like the way if it was silhouetted like that, like something out of Sin City almost.
Oh yeah, there are so many cool cinematic shots. But going back to the characters in this movie, I'm looking up the actor who played the brother now.
I only remember the name of the main actress.
Why is he not... Dakota Beavers. I said his name later, too.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, he killed it.
Yeah, he was cool. Without spoiling anything, he gets a fight scene in this that's freaking amazing. One of the best action sequences in this film was kind of centered around his big fight.
Oh my god,
he was awesome.
And one of the cool things that you and I noticed is not only like now would be the cool scene to show their relationship scene right at the beginning of the film where it kind of just shows. One thing we got to say about this movie though, before we talk about his performance even more, dialogue. Not as important as other films. You get a lot of.
There was a lot of. I thought there were scenes that were almost like pure cinema. Like they just appear. Like there. I can't talk about them because they're like big emotional moments in the film. I don't want to spoil. But there was a lot of scenes like. Even at the beginning of the film, for example, there was a lot of characterization just done very subtly, very quickly, which is what I want to see.
The mother mashing up the medicine while she was gutting a fish.
Yes.
The difference between them and her using her axe as a brutal weapon because she doesn't want to be normal. She doesn't want to be like the rest of them.
There was even dealing with like when she's first going out into the hunt the predator. This isn't a spoiler thing. All the women are coming into the village. She's going out, and she's going against the grain. You know,
I said that like. Even her face paint is different from the hunter-gatherer, the gatherers.
Yes.
The gatherers have red on the bottom of their chin and the red on the top of their head.
Red.
All of the gatherers have that.
She has black. The men mostly have black. Yeah.
The only red she has is like towards the side of her face, I think.
It's an important part of character that she defies gender, but they didn't like. They didn't. There was a good women message in this, but it wasn't overdone, and it wasn't because so many of the female empowerment movies that don't do well is they call too much attention to it. They put too much fine a point on it, which they didn't. I compare again to Alien because in Alien that's a great female empowerment movie, but it's done in a way that's very natural. It makes sense. It's great.
Yeah, there's this really cool sequence. It's in the ad for the movie. Why do you hunt? Because you tell me I can't.
Yeah.
That never said. oh, you're a woman, you can't hunt. They never said, because you're a woman, you should be with the other guys tried to imply that.
Yeah. They didn't, like, beat you over the head with it.
But her brother believes in her.
Yeah,
her
like,
brother's like, no, let her join us.
Like, is when they say, like, why should she come? We don't need to cook. That's the only one bit. They didn't, like, do it too much.
And the cool thing is she gets to beat up that dude later. And then we're getting close to spoilers right after this. But let's talk about Dakota Beaver's performance.
The brother.
He, Tebe? Yeah, Tebe.
Tebe. We're apologizing for butchering. If apologize. In the off chance anyone, like, Comanche watches this and we're, like, butchering their language. We're sorry.
Was the chattiest Chad that ever chatted.
Aside from her.
Oh, yeah. Okay, well, let's make he's the chattiest male.
In this movie,
In this movie. Motherfucker. A little bit of a spoiler, not really, because I'm not going to mention any of the outcome to this. He hits the Predator in the back of the head, knocking the mask off.
Yes, that was awesome.
Not going to show it because that's too late in the film. But that's part of the sequence you were talking about. Like, one of the best fucking sequences in this movie.
Can I say how he attacks the Predator? Or is that too much of a spoiler?
No, not really. Not really.
Fucking uses a wolf jaw.
Yeah.
Stabs him in the leg with a wolf jaw. That was cool.
As long as you don't explain why he did that.
Yes, you're right.
Stabs him with a wolf jaw, from the jaw of the wolf that the Predator killed earlier.
He, like, grabs it off his belt, I thought, right?
Yeah.
They have
and just stabs him in the thigh with it.
That was awesome.
He was a badass. And the cool thing is that there's that sequence where he comes back with the cougar's head and everything, and they make him war chief, and that's not really a spoiler because it's still really early in the film, and she gets mad at him because she felt a little hurt by the fact that he definitely used her plan. But also he wasn't wrong. He brought her back because he wanted her to survive, not get eaten by a fucking wild cat. He was worried about his sister. So in that sequence, you can relate to both the brother and her.
Yeah, they're both sympathetic in that sequence.
And no one's wrong. She's mad at him, and she has all the rights to be mad at him, but also he wasn't doing it to spite you. And he even says in that moment, we are victorious, like, we did it. And she's like, no, we didn't.
You did.
But he was referring to the fact that he used her plan.
And also they mentioned that she weakened the cat in the first fight. Yeah. She injured it.
So he isn't just considering this his victory. It's literally hers as well, but she doesn't see it that way. And that's totally fine and justifiable, especially from her point of view. And I loved that. I loved that because they never do that in modern day films. It's either one's wrong and the other's right. And I don't like that. And the way they talk to each other and the way they relate to each other, the way they look at each other, you almost feel like, man, they really could be brother and sister.
This definitely.
Crazy. They're crazy good at relating.
They had great on-screen chemistry, definitely.
Yeah. And let's talk about the actor Dane you might want to say that last name because
Deligrio, I think.
Deligrio.
The Sioux actor for the Predator, right?
Apologies in advance for getting any names wrong and whatever. He was awesome.
Yeah,
if he did, I don't know if he did all the stunt performance stuff because there's not enough yet. But I hope he did. Apparently, he used to be a basketball player.
He probably did do some of the stunt stuff then.
Yeah, look, he used to be a basketball player.
That makes sense. You want a big, tall guy to be the Predator.
Man, that Predator was, and I said this after that big kill sequence that's probably playing in the background now.
Yes.
He's brutal. Yes. He is fucking brutal.
He's definitely a youngling. He's definitely
a youngling. Yeah, he's even a little shorter. He also has like a kind of deformity with the forehead crest. Did you notice that it's like very bulbous in front?
Yeah.
He also has little spines on his back, which isn't a normal Predator thing. So I'm wondering what tribe he comes from or what like version or.
And I liked how the whole implication of her trial was this hunt, his trial. They were
was this hunt? Trial, they're each other's trial. And that sequence where it's probably playing right now again, where he looks over at her, decloaking, and
he reveals himself.
And and the camera looks through his dreadlocks and her looking back at him.
They look at
each other, and she runs away because it's the only way she knows how to fight this thing right now, because she doesn't know enough about him to actually kill this thing. And that shot, goosebumps, because that just, they got that shot so right through the dreadlocks. Like
anyone who is a Predator fan knows what that scene was. He was deciding, this is my target.
Yeah,
that's why he didn't. It was maybe spoilery, but that's why he didn't, in that big fight, he didn't kill her.
Yeah,
he chose his target. He was getting the rest out of the way. He wants to 1v1 her.
And he was that fucking Fortnite kid, 1v1 me, 1v1 me. But his design, his reveal, which again probably playing,
beautiful.
His reveal, golden. And then on top of that, his full ass design, meaning the back piece, the samurai-like plated armor on his thighs,
the waist hanging plates,
his half mace, half sword.
Yeah,
he even has the foldable collapsing razor daggers.
Yeah. They don't get those a lot.
Predators usually keep them, but I think because they're older technology, because this is set 300 years before Dutch meets the Predator.
They honored the whole thing of that Predators only use the tech level that's appropriate for what they're hunting.
Yeah, as soon as the guns are introduced, which is probably the sequence playing now,
the trappers,
Predator's just like, yo, I can use some shit.
Yeah.
And he lets loose one of the smart bombs.
Yeah.
Oh, that sequence is so cool.
Yeah. And the whole thing of, like, he killed them in a way that showed he didn't care about them. Because he wasn't
he wasn't after them.
No.
And he also doesn't view them as fair hunters, because they, earlier in the film... we're about 20 minutes in, so guys, we're gonna
spoiler stuff.
Yeah, we're gonna get into spoiler territory.
Even like they showed the trap made her angry, it also made him angry.
Yeah,
because
hold on, before going on to that, guys, probably as of right here, that probably on screen. Hopefully, Exversity is able to do this. Just put a timestamp of when we stop talking spoilers, so we can get to the end conclusion.
Yes.
But from here on out, spoilers.
Spoilers are fair game.
Very big spoilers.
Yes.
We're probably going to talk about towards the end of the film what the grand ending is.
Yes.
And then the post-credits like artwork sequence.
That was awesome.
So here's your warning. We're going to give you just a few seconds.
Click off. Go watch the movie.
Yeah.
Why are you watching our lame asses when you could be watching PREY?
Go watch the movie. Go watch PREY. As soon as this comes out on a steel case, buying it.
Oh, yeah.
Buying it. No doubt. Yeah. Buying it. All right, ready? Yeah, here we go.
Yeah.
Okay, so big time spoilers. That sequence with the French hunters and the capturing of the brother.
Yeah.
I gotta talk about that.
Yeah, that was fantastic.
They knock her out because she gets caught in a trap.
She gets in the bear trap, yeah.
And it's one of the teethless bear traps, which I did say is a cool idea because the foragers back then and everything, the hunters and whatnot, they used the teethless ones because the teethless ones could rip the flesh off creatures, and she said it in a sequence a little later past this when they're using them as bait.
Yeah.
That she saw a beaver stuck in these traps.
Yeah.
And the beaver was so desperate it chewed its own leg off. That's how it got out of the trap.
Yeah.
And any which way, like you said, the predator was also upset at the traps because they're not.
It shows the ideology of how they hunt. Yeah, it goes against that. And even like the scene where all the buffalo are skinned.
Yeah,
and they all that you could see the predator kind of like.
Yeah, angry.
You didn't see that. But he like clenches his fist, like that's offensive to him.
They didn't even take the skulls. They didn't honor this kill. This kill meant nothing.
And she did the whole thing. She like put the little thing of flour.
Gave it a prayer.
And gave thank you for your life, Creator, and all that.
Yeah, and told like the buffaloes to fly free and whatnot. Yeah. Which, again, like such a cool like thing to the actual Native American culture and the Comanche in particular.
To the French people, it was like a way. It was like
just fur.
It was economic. It was just a business thing. But to both the Native American and to the predator, it meant much more than that.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was
this Yautja, man, some of the brutalist.
Oh yeah.
Kills I've ever seen.
You could see he's trying to prove himself. He's trying to get his place.
He didn't even understand how the boltcaster really worked. Because we see him in a sequence shoot the bolt caster multiple times at Dakota. Oh my God, what is his name? Dakota
Beaver.
Yeah. Dakota Beaver's. Sorry, it's an S at the end.
Yeah.
Dakota Beaver's. Dakota Beaver's character while he's riding on the horse and in the sequence with the big showdown.
And he doesn't understand the whole principle. You can tell the laser is what.
Yeah, the laser is pointing at a tree, and he keeps shooting the bolt caster at him, even though
but she notices.
Yeah, she notices. But he doesn't even pick up because he's still a youngling. He's still learning.
And he's probably in, like, charged battle mode. He's not observing. He's not watching.
And he just keeps recklessly shooting it, and it just keeps going back to wherever the laser is.
You can even argue the whole reason that he may have been stronger than her, but she was smarter than him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This was a real Batman-Superman fight.
Yes.
Where it's when Batman goes against Superman, it's a little off topic, but not really. It's actually convenient for this.
A good metaphor.
Yeah, really good one. Batman uses his brains while Superman uses his bronze. And who always wins those fights? Batman usually 98% of the time wins those fights. I guess you could argue like stuff like Red Sun he loses because reasons, but that's a different version of Batman. When we're talking about main
I know it's too often, but that Batman was fucking cool.
That Batman was fucking cool. Yeah,
the Russian.
Well,
Batman.
Red Sun is great. We should do a AV club on a bunch of animated. We could do a book club.
Because I have that comic.
We could do a book club and an AV club on it.
Unified,
we're
going too off topic,
but that's too off topic.
PREY
Back on PREY.
Yes.
This movie needs to be watched in Comanche.
Yes.
At least once.
Honestly, I think it's worth it to watch both.
Yeah. The minute we stopped watching it, I wanted to watch it again.
Oh, yeah.
But, let's talk about that spoiler, that big fight.
The end.
The end fight. No, not that fight.
Oh, the
I don't want to spoil that.
The Trapper Camp fight.
Yes. I don't want to spoil... Actually, you know what? I don't even want to go that far. Let's talk about the bait scene.
Oh, that was cool, yeah.
We want you guys to go see this film. That's how much we like this. We want you to go see it. I am going to stamp this in right now. I don't want to talk about Dakota Beaver's fight with the Predator.
Yes.
And I don't want to talk about Naru's fight with the Predator at the end of the film.
Yes, the final two.
You guys need to see those fights for yourself. They're incredible,
they're
and we cannot...
If you don't have Hulu, get a Hulu trial. Or
get a
for
Hulu
a single month for all I care.
Go to your mom. Talk to anyone. Watch this movie. Honestly, go to your friend's house. Make a friend.
Make a friend so you can watch this movie. Let's go walk around like, hey, do you have Hulu? Let's be friends. Do you have Hulu? Let's be friends. It's worth it.
Bro, this movie needed to be seen in a theater.
Yeah,
it's a shame.
It didn't. But I understand it. But like, I'm glad we got to see it.
I'm so glad we got to see it. Any which way. That fight with their bait, which I mentioned earlier, is also the same sequence where she talks about the beaver being stuck. Because the trappers put them, like, tie them to a tree.
Yeah.
A burned down tree, by the way.
They burned down the forest.
They burned down the entire forest, which two things happen in this sequence. One, the Predator's cloak just stops working because of all the ash in the air.
Yeah, that was cool.
Do you think the trappers thought about that ahead of time?
No.
Really?
I don't think they understood it that well.
Really? Because
I don't think they knew. Maybe,
I have a feeling that, like, these trappers are connected to the pirate.
Yeah.
Because, if you guys don't know, in Predator 2, at the very end of that movie, here's a spoiler for that movie.
Yeah, if you haven't seen that one.
From the 1980s, right?
90s.
90s, yeah, you're right. Early 90s. Greyback, comes in and collects the body of the Predator.
Yeah.
And he gives this flintlock that says 15.
15. And it said Robert, the name of the pirate.
Yeah, Robert something. I can't remember his name. And hands that to what's his name? Oh my God, who is the
trapper?
No, the guy,
the Native American.
No, the black guy from the.
Oh, what about the movie? It's, right.
Predator.
I don't
2.
remember his name, but the cop.
Yeah,
policeman.
And hands it to him and just walks away, and that's the ending of the film. It was supposed to lead into a third film that was got turned into a comic book.
Yeah.
Which was about a predator who meets a pirate captain.
Yeah.
But in this movie, the flintlock is handed to Naru through one of the trappers. And I have a theory that the pirate had more than one pistol.
Yeah.
Greyback took...
This would have been 4 years later, because it wasn't the comic 1715?
Yes.
Yeah. And this was 17... So, it is enough time where it could have made its way.
Maybe this guy was a relative.
Yeah,
maybe
or someone.
Maybe he was part of the mutiny crew.
Yeah,
we don't know.
We don't know.
it was, man, I don't even know how to like put into words how cool.
Or they could have just been altering the lore. It's also possible, which is fine. I'm fine with because that was awesome.
I'm Raphael Adonali.
Yeah, Adolini. That's
Adolini.
I don't know why I thought it was Robert. It's the R I got.
Yeah, it's Danny Glover. Why didn't I get that?
Yeah.
Any which way, that sequence with the pistol where he's teaching her how to use the pistol, and we were just like, we want to see her use it, but we don't want it to be the kill shot.
No.
That would go against everything this character has built up to.
And it would go against the whole identity of the movie.
But in that sequence in the ash forest, they trap the predator.
Yeah.
They do a good job at it. And then the predator gets up and destroys the trappers.
Oh, yes.
That fight sequence is so good. It's a predator versus a small army.
Yeah, like it was like 50 men or something.
And he just fucking wrecks shop.
Yes.
He even uses
He brings out all of his tools, the shield.
Oh, yeah, that's the first time we see the shield,
the shield, the bucklers that spun out.
God, that's so cool. And he uses it correctly. He protects just his chest. That's what he needs to protect, because the dome piece protects his dome.
The mask, his dome.
His dome piece. Because that's essentially what this one is, because it doesn't protect his mandibles like the other predators.
No, it was cool. I love that design twist. His mandibles are out, because I love the mandibles.
This is an older predator, too, 300 years ago. So that kind of makes sense that the version that Dutch faces has a metal mask.
Yeah. And also because he's going low tech because he's going to at this time a low tech
What was
world.
also really cool in that scene where he's doing all this fucking cool fighting shit, he fucking walks like slowly badass moment, walks up to this dude who's holding a fucking flintlock pistol, and the dude shoots the predator in the face, and the bullet bounces off the fucking mask and hits the dude back in the fucking face.
Yeah, that was great.
I laughed my ass off.
Yeah.
He also has this badass moment where he takes one of the traps, flips it back out, and fucking tosses it.
Oh yeah, like decapitates you pretty much.
Now, that we talked about how cool that moment was, let's talk about the real badass moment early on in the film.
Oh.
The bear.
Yes.
So Naru is hunting down a bear, thinks that this bear is responsible for hurting one of the tribesmen.
Yeah.
This bear is huge.
Yeah, giant ass grizzly.
Fucking huge bear. So she's fighting it. Well, kind of. She hits it with one arrow and then runs away and then jumps in the water. Which I noticed they even did the water thing correctly. She ran like diagonal in the water instead of just running either down or across.
Yeah.
She ran diagonal, which is actually the fastest way to run through a river.
You're supposed to be like you're supposed to move with the current, but going towards the
if you're going towards the other side, But she goes under the water and swims up into a beaver dam, and the bear goes fucking nuts on this shit, and then right behind the bear, you hear the predator sounds.
The clicking noise.
That fight, bro. This bear throws down with this predator.
Oh yeah, he gets some good hits in too. He gets some bites.
They
bite
fucking
on the leg.
tosses that shit. The bear like literally lifts him up and throws him into the river, and then the predator comes back with a fucking punch to the face.
Yeah.
And then as soon as he kills the bear, because obviously he kills the bear.
Yeah.
Slices the bottom of the bear open, is drinking the blood and letting the blood just pour over him. This motherfucker is like into Mortal Kombat.
Oh yeah, that was like.
And speaking of Mortal Kombat,
that was a bear fatality.
Oh yeah. Speaking of Mortal Kombat, her tomahawk.
Oh yeah.
She modifies it so this way it has a rope on it, and that fight she has with the trappers where she's like throwing it, bringing it back, throwing it again, bringing it back. She even She even cuts the predator's fucking thigh, his calf.
Yeah.
When they're fighting, she slides underneath him because the dog comes.
I loved how acrobatic she was. That was something
she was so acrobatic.
Like she jumps off the trees and stuff.
She even uses traps like Dutch did.
Yeah.
It was a nice throwback. Also, they use the line, "If it bleeds, we can kill it."
Yes.
That's a great line, and I'm glad to see it.
They definitely did a lot of fun callbacks to the older movies without it being too much.
Without it being like obnoxious.
Without it being like the new Star Wars movies, you know.
Star Wars.
Yeah, you like Star Wars, don't you? No, it had a few callbacks, but not to cringe levels. I loved that. That's a hard balance to strike.
I think this was worth our time.
Absolutely, more than that.
So this has pretty much been our review. Hi everyone who skipped over the spoilers.
Yeah.
So no more spoilers.
No more spoilers.
Go watch the movie.
Watch the movie.
You need to watch this movie.
Stop listening to us and watch the movie.
Go watch it now. We know we said it before.
Yeah.
Say it again. This, I don't like ratings at all, but this is a 10 out of 10 for me. There's nothing I can complain about this.
No.
Going into it, yes, I was hyped and I was a little biased because not only is it Native American, which I don't get often.
Yeah.
And speaking of Native American, Reservation Dogs.
Oh, yeah, go watch that. That's good.
That's great, too. But this... this was what I wanted. This is a fresh take on a Predator. All the people out there complaining about woke feminism shit, you obviously didn't pay attention, because that's not even that important to the film. It's a few lines.
And I don't care, if you like badass action heroes, you should like her. She was a badass action
Oh my god, she's
absolutely,
so cool.
yeah.
There was moments in there where I was just like, dude, I like her a little more than Dutch. I think I said that twice through the film. And it's nothing against Dutch.
No,
it's
Dutch
just... he doesn't even really kill the Predator.
Yeah, and I would argue she's kind of more interesting character.
Yeah,
like she has a lot more motivation and development. He's kind of just mercenary.
Because in Predator they weren't really worried about storytelling, let's be honest.
No, it was
like a cool badass
which is fine, but
testosterone film.
But
which
that
is
was
fine.
part of that is it's of its time.
Yeah, it's very of its time.
It's a late 80s movie.
They also had that problem with even a movie you really like, Conan. They had a little bit of that problem in there in some of the sequences where it was okay, but like, come on, where's the story? And they're just like, oh no, it's just masculine.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, that's just cool. It's really cool. It's awesome to look at. It's a great sequence. I want a little bit more story. There's more to this.
Yeah.
There's more to Conan than just...
Well, I would compare that because I would compare these two movies. Because they're both the stories are simple.
Yeah.
But they're super effective.
Yes.
It doesn't... They're both movies that, to me at least, are very good at having a story that carries the action, carries everything.
And the character fits right into it without being...
forced or weird.
Forced or weird situation.
And it just flows naturally. It's simple, but not too simple, but not too complex. It's perfect action movie story, I would say, for both those movies. This
is a little more... For me, like, we always use the term popcorn movie when it's a movie that, like, we didn't hate.
No.
But if you're going to watch it, get a bag of popcorn. Don't really pay attention too much.
But this was a movie worth paying attention to. There's a lot of cool
This is not a popcorn movie for me. Like, I don't think I could eat a bag of popcorn. My mouth was open most of the time.
I was too hype.
You and I were fucking clapping our hands. We were jumping. This would have been a bad movie for us to watch in the theater.
Yeah, you're
right.
And
I would have been those annoying people like, fuck it, yeah, sure. We were doing that shit throughout the entire film.
Like when we watched Kong vs. Godzilla, we were the same way.
When we watched Kong vs. Godzilla, we were screaming. Thank God that came out on HBO Max, because we should not see that in the theater.
No, we would have nerded out too much. I was nerding out over the references and everything.
But this, to me, I have nothing bad to say. I love the camera work. I love the characters. This simple idea of not many characters.
Yeah, no.
Oh, thank you. Too many. Even the original Predator movie tried to build up all of the mercenaries as their own individual characters, and then they just die. There's no reason to get to know
Blaine
them.
Still, I think sexual Tyrannosaurus.
Yeah, I've showed you that sticker before.
Yeah.
But it's just a shame that movies like that get the characters overlooked. But in this, I remember all of the characters with a good name or they had a good sequence.
They didn't try to do too big of a cast where it's just manageable. It was very
There's three main characters, to be honest. There's the Predator, Naru, and
the brother.
The brother. And the mother kind of plays a role, but
and the trapper guy, the trapper leader.
The trapper dude, yeah.
No more spoiler, but yeah.
No, but
what happened to him? But
thank you.
Yeah, thank you
for being here. Thank you for watching this. Go watch this movie.
Fantastic movie.
I don't have anything else to add.
Yeah, that's
all I want to say. We're up to 40 minutes. Thank you guys for being here.
Yes.
Watch this movie.
Watch the movie.
Highly recommend. I can't.
You shouldn't be listening to us if you haven't watched the movie yet. That's better use of your time.
Go watch it. Go watch it.
Go watch it.
All right. This has been the Rotten Brains AV Club
with Koz
for PREY. Yeah, with Koz. You're
Hobo.
the only one with me right now, and me, Fearless Hobo.
Well, technically, Exversity is directly behind us, but he's sleeping.
But he wasn't here for that. He's here to edit.
Yeah, true. He's here
to edit
cold.
and eat pizza. He's out cold. Yeah, look forward to our season review of The Boys, which is what Exversity really wants to do.
Yeah, he's been wanting to do
that. He's like, please, can we watch The Boys?
Yes,
can we watch The Boys?
Yeah.
But I want to get started with some AV Club again.
We love movies.
We love movies.
It's our blood.
Thank you guys for joining us, and we'll see you next time. See ya.
See ya.